done some shameful things I'm not proud of. To book my way through college, I became a stripper of wallpaper. And besides being a stripper of wallpaper, well, that's how I got into my painting career. And one of the first jobs I did on my own was I had to paint this little bungalow all the way around it, and I didn't know the two neighbors were in dispute and having a fight. And when I got to one side, I crossed over the property line, maybe. The neighbor calls the cops. She must have made a big deal because they sent 2 cop cars, 4 officers. They grabbed a hold of me, and when all the dust settled, I didn't do anything wrong. But you know what? I was really left shooken up. And this is the first job I had on my own. So the second job, the next day, I'm all shaken up. I'm wondering, you gotta watch out for the neighbors. Beware of the neighbors. You can't trust the neighbors. That's all I have in my head. And this is in the 80s. And in the 80s, there were 2 things that were really popular at the time, and it was Miami Vice and the Rubik's Cube. And believe it or not, I learned how to do the Rubik's Cube in 24 hours. I learned if you're very careful, you can pull off the stickers and put them in all the right spots. And Miami Vice, well, people were painting their houses Miami Vice. I was painting these fuchsia greens and these fluorescent pinks, and people were doing this. And I had to go to this house, and I had to paint the whole exterior of the house this Miami Vice green, which was kind of like a crazy green. And I'm there, and I'm wondering, you know what, I gotta watch out for these neighbors. And so I decided to start on the front of the house, and I did the garage door, the windows, and next thing you know, I see the neighbor. And I make friends with the neighbor. And I ask him if I can go on his property. He says, no problem. I did the good chunk of the house, the first coat. I get home, I'm all proud of myself. I handled the neighbor well. He made me coffee in the afternoon. And then I get a phone call around 7 o'clock saying, Claudio, I thought you were supposed to come and paint my house today. I'm thinking, what number is your house? 121. I painted 221. I painted the wrong house. I got in my head, watch out for the neighbor. I totally missed out on the house. Imagine these people coming home from work and pulling into their driveway and saying this fluorescent green house. And all night I was wondering, well, what am I going to do? Should I go back and knock on their door and say, hey, do you want me to paint it back to the other color? Or hey, do you want to pay me for the second coat? Or hey, and you know what? The more I thought about it, the more ashamed I got. And you know what? I did all the wrong things. I ran away. And for 25 years, I would never admit that I ever did this. I couldn't admit it to anybody. I kept it a secret. And then I got a little inner healing after 25 years, and I finally tell one of my best friends, my coworker. And he's a painter too. And you know what I had here for the next 3 years? Hey, are you sure this is the right house? Are you sure this is the right house? Are you sure this is the right house? For 3 years, that's all I heard. That's all I heard until one day, he had a shameful thing happen to him. He gets home from, he's just about to go to work, and he's thinking, wow, date night tonight. So he sees his wife's phone there on the countertop, and he's thinking, you know what? I'm going to take a picture of my ding-dong and leave it as a screensaver for her to get her all excited tonight. And that's what he decides to do. And he goes to work, and she's a receptionist. And wouldn't you know it, one of her friends comes over and says, hey, can I borrow your phone? I need to take a private call outside. And she borrows her phone. And she comes back and says, interesting screensaver. And then 2 minutes later, another lady comes by and wants to borrow her phone. And then he phones around lunchtime and he says, hey, have you seen my screensaver? And she goes, screensaver? And she looks at it and she goes, oh my God, no wonder the whole office wanted to borrow my phone. And she's going, what are you going to do about the Christmas party next week? He goes, I'm not going. I'm not doing that walk of shame. He wasn't going to do the walk of shame. He didn't want to do the walk of shame. And then it gets worse. On her way home from work, she's on the bus. She loses her phone. Some good Samaritan brings it to the police station. He gets a phone call from 13th Division and says, hey, we found the phone here. And he phones him up and says, do you know who this might be? And he goes, yeah, it's my wife's phone. He goes, well, how do you know? He goes, it's got a picture of my ding-dong as a screensaver. And then he looks at the phone, he couldn't control himself, and he says, well, it's come to 13th Division, pick it up. And all the way there, they're fighting. Who's going to go inside? No, it's your fault. No, it's your fault. No, it's your fault. Finally they get there and she says, only because I love you, I'm going to go inside. And she gets in there and she says, I'm here to pick up my phone, you know, the one with the interesting screensaver. He goes, oh, you? Okay, just 1 minute, please. And he goes to the back, and there's a rustle in the back. There's about 20 cops who are in the back, all wanting to know who was going to come and pick up this phone. Who was going to do it? Who was going to do this walk of shame? Was it for real? Were they even going to show up? And there was all these people sticking out their heads, going like this, saying, who's there? And then and you know what? All this, for years, this never really made too much sense to me. Until one day I finished off a job, and it was winter time, and I put all my latex paint in the front of the truck because I had to bring it inside, else it'll freeze. And I'm tired, I'm hungry, and on my way home, I do a bad turn, and guess what happens? This white gallon of paint flips over, and the only good thing is it lands in the wheel well by the passenger door, and it's all contained. That's the only good thing. It didn't travel everywhere. And I'm driving, and I'm thinking, well, what am I going to do? Who wants to clean up this mess? I'm tired, I'm hungry, and then I had this great idea. I'll just let it freeze overnight and pick it up like an ice cube the next day. That's a fantastic idea. And I go to this sandwich shop, and I order my meatball sandwich, and I look outside, and I see this 13, 14-year-old kid with these big running shoes, Nike, they look brand new. And what's he doing? He's looking right into my truck. And I know what he's looking at. I just pulled out a whole bunch of change, and he's looking straight at that. I know what he's looking at. Next thing you know, he opens up the door, and bam! The paint falls all over his shoes. All over his shoes. And then I run out there, and what do you see? You see these white footprints running away. And I know exactly where he goes. I don't have to follow him, I know where he goes. He goes where all the other kids are. They're all going on the bus. You ever heard the expression, you missed the bus? Well, this guy literally missed the bus. The bus driver won't let him on. And then he was doing the walk of shame home. See, the walk of shame home is you got your head down and you're looking at your feet. And when you're looking at your feet, you're constantly reminded of what you've done. And that's what shame does. Shame constantly reminds you of your past and barely to see your future. And so I'm driving by and I'm thinking, you know what? Walk right by him, and I'm thinking, you know what? I'm going to turn around the block and I'm going to open up my window and say, nice footprints, buddy. I want to rub it in. But as I turn around the block, I'm looking at my own shoes and I'm thinking, you know, I haven't left some good footprints myself. I haven't been wanting to be reminded of some of the steps I've taken. My footprints haven't been the best. And then I was reminded how my coworker's wife was willing to cover up his shame. How love covers up shame. And not only does it do that, but if you really love somebody, you'll even want to do the walk of shame yourself so they don't have to. And that's what real love is. And there's a lot of us out there who have deep, deep shame. And that's like being in a field where there's landmines. And you're terrified and you're scared and you can't move because there's landmines everywhere. Well, what if we were going to create new footprints? What if we're going to go over to the people who have these deep shames and go over to where they're at and amidst their landmines and say, you know what? I'm going to create a safe place. I'm going to create new footprints. I'm going to be with you all the way. I'm going to walk with you, and I'm even going to lead you out. And you know what? My footprints are a safe place to walk in. Thank you very much. My name is Claudio Marino, and I'm proud to share with you that I'm no longer a stripper.